Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really visually striking and frankly profound journey. I want you to picture this: a weary cybermonk navigating the chaotic, neon-drenched streets of a massive futuristic metropolis. We're going to follow this traveler as a way to unpack the ancient Lojong slogans, specifically numbers 13 through 24. These aren't just old philosophical musings, they are vibrant, living tools. So get ready to explore this ancestral futuristic world of neon ink wash and bioluminescent calligraphy as we figure out exactly how to transform our daily reactivity into some serious awareness. So, why are we following this monk? Well, these Buddhist mind training slogans aren't just some dusty, ancient syllabus. Honestly, they're more like a desperately needed software patch for our modern brains. If you're feeling completely overwhelmed by the constant noise, endless notifications, and daily distractions, this is your survival guide. It's all about rewiring how we process the absolute chaos around us.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the Mirror of Provocation, covering slogans 13 through 15.
Slogan 13 tells us, be grateful to everyone. Others will always show you exactly where you are stuck. Think about that for a second. Picture a massive digital mirror, but instead of your reflection, it shows your internal hooks as these glowing snagged threads. It literally highlights exactly where your ego is getting snagged by other people's actions.
You know exactly how this plays out at work, right? Step 1 is the trigger. That frustrating manager or colleague, they aren't actually your enemy. If we shift our perspective just a bit, they're really a protector. They are essentially pointing a glowing arrow at your own ego traps, showing you the exact spot where you need to cool your reactivity.
Then we hit slogan 14, seeing confusion as the four kayas is unsurpassable shunyata protection. Thoughts have no birthplace, they appear but are not solid. Visually, imagine your racing, anxious thoughts as translucent holographic clouds. Watch as they just effortlessly dissolve into a vast neon ink void. They look so intimidating at first, but you can pass right through them.
To break that down a bit, the four kayas represent this amazing realization that our thoughts are constant, sure, but completely insubstantial. It's wild because this ancient, unsurpassable protection is exactly what we now call cognitive diffusion and radical acceptance in modern psychology. It's the practice of proving to our brains that thoughts are just passing, fleeting phenomena, not heavy, solid facts we're forced to act on.
Which brings us to slogan 15. 4 practices are the best of methods. Focus on accumulating merit and offering to the dawns. Now, a dawn isn't a mob boss here. It's a sudden wake-up call, a shocking mishap, or an out-of-nowhere failure. And the radical advice here? We actually have to learn to welcome these shocks. When we look at these 4 practices, picture our cybermonk offering a sphere of digital light to a massive, menacing shadow dragon. That dragon represents your sudden mishap. But the second that offering is made, the moment you actually welcome the disaster instead of fighting it, the dragon instantly transforms into a guiding spirit. It lessens our self-absorption and snaps us awake.
Moving right along to Section 2, Pausing the System Glitch, covering slogans 16 through 18.
So, slogan 16 says, whatever you meet unexpectedly, join with meditation. The unexpected will stop your mind. Rest in that space. Imagine a total system glitch in our cyber city. All the neon signs shatter into static. But instead of panicking, our monk handles it with a profound, grounding breath of stillness, just resting in the sudden quiet of a stopped mind.
And here's the practical side of this for step 2, the pause. Think about a catastrophic server crash at work or a terrifying deadline dropping in your lap. Taking that literal pause, resting in the space of a stopped mind, is exactly what halts your neurotic habit loops from spiraling out of control. You use the shock of the unexpected as the trigger to center yourself.
Next up, slogans 17 and 18, which map out the 5 strengths. Picture our character sitting atop a high-tech biotech mountain, carefully planting a glowing bioluminescent seed in a metallic garden. This positive seed is our innate drive to wake up, and it's supported by strong determination, familiarization, reproach of our own ego, and a pure aspiration to help others. These are what prepare us for life's toughest moments, and ultimately, the final system shutdown of death.
It's a beautiful comparison, actually. The 5 strengths map perfectly onto the mythological trials of the hero. You know the stories, where heroes face impossible tests, requiring some unbreakable internal weapon. Well, here, that weapon isn't a magic sword.
It's your own internal resolve and aspiration. When all the external systems fail, that is your ultimate survival tool.
Let's keep going. Section 3, the radiant inner core, unpacking slogans 19 through 21. Slogan 19 cuts right to the chase. All Dharma agrees at one point, lessening one's self-absorption, one's ego clinging. Imagine this incredibly heavy, rigid, robotic shell unlatching and just crashing to the floor. And underneath, a simple, vulnerable, intensely radiant human heart. That right there is the pure essence of all spiritual teachings.
Then we have Slogan 20. Of the two witnesses, hold the principal one. You are the only one who really knows exactly what is going on. In our visual journey, think of our characters standing in front of a towering jury of shadows, representing the endless judgments of society. Yet the character is completely at peace, listening only to the steady, unshakable pulse of their own inner light.
Applying this gives us step 3, the assessment. This slogan is essentially your permission slip to just tune out the workplace gossip and ignore the external noise. You really don't need external validation. What you need is internal integrity, looking at yourself with deep compassion but with absolutely zero self-deception.
Now, Slogan 21 is a tough but beautiful challenge. Always maintain only a joyful mind. The real insight here? Finding gratitude even for the incredibly difficult emotions, because they are what wake you up. Picture a freezing, rainy, neon street where our weary traveler stops, looks down, and suddenly sees profound, joyful beauty in the shimmering reflections of the cyber puddles.
Just look at the contrast. A purely reactive mindset gets entirely consumed by chaos and drama. But if we channel that mythological trickster energy, think of the Monkey King or Neja, we don't fight the chaos with a scowl. We playfully harness those mishaps, turning the very things that frustrate us into the actual fuel for our own joyful awakening.
Finally, we arrive at Section 4, Balancing the Data Stream, Slogans 22 through 24.
Slogan 22 states, "If you can practice even when distracted, you are well trained. Like a good horseback rider, you don't fall off." I absolutely love this one. It evokes this incredible image of a rider mounted on a mechanical, cybernetic horse, navigating a chaotic, rushing digital data stream with perfect, unshakable balance.
Which brings us to step 4, the integration. Real spiritual training isn't sitting cross-legged in a perfectly silent room. Come on, we live in the real world. It's about keeping your balance when you're in an open plan office and notifications, emails, and conversations are just flooding your senses. You let those distractions heighten your awareness rather than letting them sweep you away.
Slogan 23 reminds us, always abide by the 3 basic principles. Keep your personal commitments, refrain from outrageous or exhibitionist conduct, and develop patience in absolutely all situations. Imagine 3 glowing holographic pillars holding up a serene, floating temple right in the middle of a violent cyberstorm. Those pillars are your commitments, keeping you elevated and patient, no matter how bad the storm gets.
And that brings us to the end. Slogan 24, change your attitude but remain natural. Look out and express gentleness. Then just relax. As we see our cybermonk finally power down that heavy exoskeleton, walking freely and naturally through a quiet, bioluminescent forest, we have to ask ourselves, in the midst of our own glowing screens and daily battles, how can we express gentleness, drop our heavy defenses, and simply relax into our own chaos today? Take that question with you. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey.